Hey guys, how y'all doing? And welcome back to a new reading vlog. I haven't done one of these in a little while, so I'm happy to be doing another one. But it is the first day of the Spring into Reading-a-thon. It is March 19th today, so I am gonna start out this vlog for you. It's about 3 p.m. Getting a little bit of a late start on starting the vlog, but I have been reading, which is the good thing. Let me just show you my bullet journal spread. That's what it looks like. So instead of writing down a TBR in my bullet journal, I decided to just do like a bingo board style thing for the challenges, because I've decided that every time I put in a TBR for the readathons, I end up not reading those books or wishing that I hadn't written down the TBR so I could change the challenges and stuff around. So I decided to just go for a bingo board style for the challenges this time. So I'm obsessed with this spread, and I'm very excited to be able to color it in this week. But let's get started on the TBR and go through like the challenges and stuff. So the first challenge is read a book that has been collecting dust on your shelves. The book that I think I'm gonna read for this challenge is Just One Day by Gail Forman. This is a book that I've owned maybe since 2016. I honestly don't even know, but it's 2015 or 2016 because I saw the box set at Walmart for literally $5. I don't know why it was that cheap, but I snatched it up because I loved If I Stay. This one has definitely been collecting dust because I've put it on many a TBRs and I've just never actually read past that first chapter. So I'm hopefully going to be able to get to this one this week. The next one is read a book with travel or vacation in it, and actually Just One Day is also going for that challenge. So she's on the last day for 3-week European tour vacation. So yeah, that includes a vacation. Yeah, we're gonna go with it. So for that challenge, I'm also gonna be reading Just One Day, but we'll see what happens. And then we have read a romance or a book that involves friendship. So for that, I'm gonna go with There's Something About Sweetie by Sandy Manon. This is her second book in the Dimple series, I guess, the Dimple companion series, but I have been looking forward to reading this book. It came out last year and I just haven't gotten around to reading it, and I really want to read it. And so this involves a relationship between our main character Sweetie and Ashish. I don't know if there's friendships in here. I'm going to assume so, but there is a romance, and I'm so excited to get to this one. And with the state that our world is currently in, I need a book like this that I think is just going to be super, super cute. If it's anything like When Dimple Met Rishi, I'm in for a fantastic time, so I'm really looking forward to this one. And this one actually also goes for the next challenge, which is read a book with pink and or yellow on the cover. There's yellow paint on her face, and also Sandy Manon's name is in yellow, so that counts enough for me. The next challenge is to read a classic fairy tale or a retelling. So I was looking at my shelves, and there are no retellings or classic fairy tales that I currently want to read for the first time. I do have a retelling on my shelf, but I have that planned for something else later in the year, so I'm waiting on that one. But the only thing I could think of is rereading something. All I've been doing this month is rereading books, so I was trying to avoid that, but it's fine. I have 2 rereads in this readathon. But we're going to be trying to read Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie. I've only read this book once and I listened to it via audiobook, but I really want to read it physically. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm meaning to reread it for a couple of years now, so I'm really excited for this one. And then the last challenge is actually the book that I'm currently reading, and that is read a book with a strong female character. So I went with Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins. This is obviously the sequel to The Hunger Games, and I was actually already planning on reading this book this month because Peyton is currently co-hosting a Hunger Games read-along to prepare for the Songbird of Ballads and the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, that's what it's called. And so I was already planning on reading it, and I was like, this is the perfect book for this challenge because we all know that Katniss is a badass. So I've already started it. I actually already started it prior to this. I started it last year. I just never finished because I wanted to read something else. But I started on page 22 today, and I'm now on page 53, and here's my tentative goal. Okay, my tentative goal is to read this entire thing today. The only issue is that I'm annotating it, and I'm seeming to be annotating a lot at the moment in the book, so it might take me a bit longer to get through, but I am hoping that I can finish this today. The only plans I have for the day are partially already done. I needed to take a shower. I took a shower. I needed to edit and schedule and upload on a video. I already did that. We good. And all I need to do today is write. But I've decided that writing works best for me after dinner. So I have until dinner to read this book. And then after dinner, when I write, after I write, I'm going to get back to this and read until it's done, hopefully. It's going to be a lot, but these books aren't very long. I know that I can do it if I just sit down and concentrate. So we good. I'm very excited about this one. Also, just kind of like on the side lines, I'm also listening to The Diviners by Libba Bray right now, so I'm going to be listening to that throughout this entire readathon, although I don't think I'm counting it for any challenges, although I think I could go for pink or yellow on the cover because I'm pretty sure there's yellow on the cover. Those are the reading plans. So we're starting off with Catching Fire. I'm having a great time. I'm putting a lot of orange funny tabs in because I keep making myself laugh, okay? I keep writing down comments and just giggling to myself because I'm a maniac. I do that a lot. And then I think I'm either gonna read Peter Pan or there's something about Sweetie after that. It's currently Thursday, and tomorrow I don't have any plans besides writing and reading, so that's good. And then we're currently social distancing, so I don't leave my house, right? But then Saturday and Sunday I unfortunately do have to work, and I'm so mad about it because the last thing I want to be doing right now is having to interact with a bunch of strangers all day and work around people. Like, that's the last thing I want to be doing right now, but obviously I have to go. I need money, and my store is still open, so I have to go. So that's this weekend, but I work short 4-hour shifts, so I should be able to read after my shifts, and that should be fine. That is what is happening. I'm gonna go back and sit down and read Catching Fire, and I will update you guys later. Okay guys, so it is now 6:20-ish, and I've been reading Catching Fire, so I just stopped to have dinner, but I've pretty much been reading ever since I last updated you. I am now on page 174. 174, and if you haven't read this, then spoilers for a quick second, but I just got to the part where they found out that the Court of Quell is going to be where they pull from the existing victors to pick the tributes. Super heartbreaking. I didn't realize how long it actually took to get to that part in the book. So like this, they must not be in the games for that long. I don't know, it's been a really long time since I've read this book. But I wanted to get halfway before dinner, and I almost got there. But I'm going to stop now because I need to do some writing. That's kind of my routine, is I write after dinner. So I'm going to get back to this when I'm done writing. And I typically write until about 10-ish whenever my parents go to bed, and then I retire to my room and I finish reading. That's kind of the plan for the night, and I'm still hoping that I can finish this today. But it kind of depends. Maybe I'll stop writing a little bit earlier than 10, maybe 9:30 instead. But we still going to try to finish this book today and see how that goes. So it's now 11:17, and I just wanted to give you guys a bit of an update. So I made it up to page 250. Joey Tail. I made it up to page 253 of Catching Fire. I could stay up and finish it, but I'm not going to because I think I would just rather watch a movie right now. I've been reading a lot today. I wrote a lot today. I did a lot of things today, and I'm just kind of feeling a little tired. I think I would just much rather watch a movie on Disney+. So that's what I'm going to do, and I will check back in with you guys tomorrow. So it is now the 20th. It is just past 6 p.m. and I haven't updated you guys all day. So I did finish Catching Fire, which was really good. I did tab and annotated a lot, and I just really love this book. I think it is such an amazing sequel. I don't know if it's my favorite. I think it is my favorite out of the whole trilogy. I just love these characters. I love being in this world, but it's really, really good, and I can't wait to move on to Mockingjay next month. I don't know what I'm going to pick up next. I know I said that I was going to pick up There's Something About Sweetie, and I think that I might. But then I was looking at Peter Pan today, and I was like, I really want to read Peter Pan all of a sudden. Then I got an idea for a reading vlog series, and I'd want to film more in-depth thoughts on this. and I don't really feel like filming a whole separate vlog right now with no makeup on and not looking good. And so I think I'm going to wait to read this until Monday. So that means that I'm going to be picking up There's Something About Sweetie next. I don't think I'm going to read anymore today, maybe some of my audiobook, but I think I'm done for reading for the day. I need to do writing, but I'm really excited to get into this. I'm hoping that it'll be the good happiness that I need. I just want to talk about mental health for a second. I feel so heavy right now. It's because of all the coronavirus, COVID-19 stuff that's happening, and I just feel really scared and really weighted down, and I think it's just dawned on me that I have to go to work this weekend for the entire weekend. Normally at this time of year I only have to work 1 day a week because we're just not busy enough for me to work both days, but for some reason I'm working the entire weekend this weekend. And I really don't want to, and I really wish my store would just close down because honestly, I'm just terrified to be in close proximity to other people right now. And I haven't left the house in a little over a week. I don't think I've left the house since I last worked, which was last Saturday. Yeah, my chest just feels really tight and heavy, and I'm not feeling great. So I don't even know. I was gonna watch Catching Fire at some point, but I don't feel like watching it tonight because I need to make sure that I go to bed early-ish because I work early tomorrow. And then on Sunday night, me and my friend are actually planning on doing a video chat and watching Disney Plus, which is something that I really, really need. I rambled for too long, but basically I'm just feeling really anxious right now. It's kind of been like a never-ending thing all week. Something that's just always underlying there. Normally when I'm at home, I don't feel too anxious because I'm at home, but right now it's really not good. And I'm struggling. I think I'm gonna go and try to write, but I don't feel good, so. Okay guys, so it is now 5:53 on Saturday. I got back from work a few hours ago. Now I'm home. I realize this is a really weird angle, but like, what you gonna do? So, I've been reading There's Something About Sweetie, and I'm on page 67. And I just kind of wanted to update because I wanted to make more progress in this by this point, but I kept getting distracted and I have a bit of a headache. But I hate Sweetie's mom so much. And there's an author note at the beginning from Sandy Manon about how, like, one of the things she really wanted to do with this book and explore in this kind of book. I wanted to write honest conversations between a fat Indian American teen and her mother. I wanted to put the same messaging I and so many others got onto the page, and I wanted to have the strong, beautiful main character refuted on the page. I knew Sweetie would be the perfect person to take on this toxic, harmful messaging in her own sweet, gentle way. Basically, Sweetie is fat, and she doesn't care, right? As she shouldn't. But her mom does, and her mom's constantly, like, jabbing at her, like, oh, you could lose a few pounds, and watching what she eats, like, oh, don't eat too many sweets, have an apple for a snack, like, all these things, right? And then, like, so does, like, a few other characters, like, a random side character and, like, a random character that we just kind of meet has kind of jabbed at her weight, and it's so annoying the way this mom is dealing with it, and I'm really desperately hoping there's character development there, and I believe that there will be, but I genuinely believe that parents should be the one uplifting their kids and not making them feel worse. Like, you know, there are so many people out in the world who will make you feel like garbage, and your parents should not be one of those people. And I genuinely believe in that. And she's just going against that, and she's hurting poor Sweetie, and Sweetie is too scared to, like, say it loudly enough to her mom and, like, genuinely refute her mom. And I know that there's gonna be a point where she's just gonna do it, but right now it's just so sad to read about, and I hate it because there's this line: why did Amma assume people would laugh? And if they did laugh, why should Sweetie care? What gave them the right to dictate what she could and couldn't do? Come to think of it, what gave Amma the right? But she knew what Amma would say to that last question. I'm your mother, and that gives me all the right. That does not give you the right. I am sorry. It does not. Parents should love their kids and respect their kids, no matter what. And it pisses me off. I just feel incredibly bad for Sweetie, and I can't wait till things start to get better for her because she deserves it. Like, we're only 67 pages in, and already I love Sweetie, so I'm very excited to continue reading. I'm hoping my headache doesn't last too long, but I also plan on watching Catching Fire tonight, I think, so very excited for that. But yeah, I'll update you guys a little bit later. a bit of a reading update. I didn't update you guys yesterday because I worked and I just wasn't in a good mood because I had to work, and then I was video chatting with friends when I got home. I just didn't really do much reading, but I'm going to update you on 3 things, I guess. So there's something about Sweetie. I'm still reading. I was hoping that it would be done by now. But it's not. But I'm on page 158 and I'm really enjoying it. We're getting into the good stuff now, which is fun. But I'm going to put this on pause so I can pick up Peter Pan today, and I'm going to be doing a separate reading vlog for this one, so I'm not going to be updating you guys too much on my actual thoughts on this one, just my updates on the page counts. But yeah, so I'm going to put this on pause while I read that today, and then I'll come back to this when I'm done and hopefully finish it very, very soon. And then I haven't updated you guys on the Diviners yet because I'm not technically reading it for the readathon. I'm just reading it during the readathon, but I thought I'd give you guys an update anyways. Page count is at page 356, which translates to 11 hours and 3 minutes into the audiobook. So I have 7 hours and 10 minutes left. Not that much left page count wise. For my actual feelings on this book, I don't really know. I'm enjoying it for sure. I think it's kind of creepy and eerie. I like the 1920s setting. I don't mind the characters. I'm not overly attached to any of them, but I'm very invested in the kind of the mystery and the creepy crawly aspect of the book. But I'm hoping that it does really capture me in this last little bit, and something really shocking happens or something, because I do want to continue on with this series and own them all and love them all. So I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see, but that is what I am currently listening to on audio. But that's kind of what's happening right now. It's 12:50. I don't know if I told you guys the time. It's 12:50. It's Monday. And yeah, my whole day is gonna be spent reading Peter Pan, and I'm very excited because I've never reread this book. So I'm looking forward to rereading it and uploading that reading vlog for you guys, because that one, I don't know if it'll be up before or after this. I'm going to assume after this. I'm thinking April I'm going to upload it, but yeah, so that's what's happening. I will update you guys a little bit later.
I swear that we're trolling the internet. And then Brittany's filming us. Are you filming us?
Okay guys, so I have not updated you in a couple of days, but it is the 26th. It's nighttime, and I've been reading just one day. I did finish Peter Pan the other day. I'll update you about that more tomorrow. I also read and finished There's Something About Sweetie, so I'll also update you about that tomorrow. But for right now, I just want to talk about just one day. Okay, I am on page 143, and I just want to talk about a complaint that I have. So this book is called, obviously, Just One Day. The whole description on the back of the book talks about this one day that the main character and this guy spend in Paris, right? It's all about that. There's no talk about anything past this one day, right? And so my safe assumption was that this entire book takes place over one day. And a part of me was like, that seems a little unrealistic because this is such a fat book to take place over a single day. Right, but then I was thinking that's possible because I don't think it's that much bigger than The Sun Is Also a Star, and that was also over one day, right? But I was like, I think it'll work, whatever. But then I'm reading it, and I'm like, this seems to be going fairly quickly. It was pretty early on. It's already 4 p.m. in their day. It's that doesn't really make much sense. Yeah, turns out this book doesn't take place in just one day. This is all that there is, and now I'm in part 2, and it's the next month. And I'm so confused, and I feel betrayed, I feel lied to, because I was looking for this one-day whirlwind romance, and I was kind of enjoying myself, I wasn't disliking it, and then all of a sudden we get, it just kind of ends abruptly, and we're being thrown into the next month, and I don't know what's happening, and I've been procrastinating continuing reading for the past, hour. I was watching an Instagram live stream that Sandy Manon and Kim Chance did earlier on in the day, instead of reading this, because I'm just kind of frustrated that I feel misled. I thought this was going to be, a one-day whole book romance. That's not what it is. And now I feel like it's even more unrealistic, because I didn't get, okay, here's my thing. One-day romances already are unrealistic, because it's unrealistic to actually fall in love within a single day, right? But it's believable because the book spans so many pages, and if you don't read it in a single sitting, it feels a bit longer and whatnot. It feels like it drags out a bit more, and you can forget that it's kind of all one day. It happened literally before the halfway point of the book. So like that's just not realistic to me, and so now I'm kind of feeling annoyed. So I might try to stay up and read a bit more because like I wanted to get halfway through this book so I could finish it tomorrow, but I'm kind of ticked off that no part of this description of the book or anything led me to believe that this would be longer than just one day. Ha. Puns. Just one day. I'm annoyed. So I'm going to check back in with you guys tomorrow and give you full-on updates on all the books I've been reading and whatnot, but I just really needed to vent about how annoyed I am right now, and I'm not showing my face because I look disgusting, but I'm just, oof. Okay, so it is the 27th now, and I thought I'd give you that update that I promised you in last night's clip. So I have quite a few reading updates, so let's just talk about everything in order. So I finished Peter Pan the same day that I started reading it. What day was that? I don't know, it was a few days ago. And I did not like this book, and I'm very sad about it. I'm not going to talk too much about it here because like I said, I am doing a whole separate reading vlog for it that'll be up in April, but it was just disappointing. It was not as magical feeling as the Disney film, and it just felt bogged down with a lot of information, and it wasn't what I was wanting from it, which is so weird because I've read this before, so just the fact that I'm rereading it and I don't know, it wasn't good. So now I'm sad because I own this beautiful edition and now it's kind of tainted by my dislike for the book. There were a few things that I did like, but overall it was not very good. So let's move on from that. I finished There's Something About Sweetie by Sandy Manon, and this book I loved so much. Like I genuinely just like adored this book. Once I finished Peter Pan, I just like, I don't know, I just kind of fell in love with this book. I love these characters, Sweetie and Ashish. I already knew I liked Ashish because he's Rishi's brother from When Dimple Met Rishi. So I already knew that I loved him. But just, I got to see more of him, his point of view, got to see more about his life, his friends. Sweetie was such a good character, and I just, I'll talk more in depth about it in my wrap up, but I just loved this book so much. It was so swoon-worthy, so cute. Yeah, I don't know. I just really loved this book. I love the Dimple trilogy. It's just so good. And the third book's not even out yet, but I know I'm gonna love it because it's about Pinky. And Pinky is Ashish's, like, one of his best friends. And it's also following Samir, who is another one of his friends. And I think they're gonna fall in love. I'm so here for it. It's kind of like hate. It's not really hate to love, but they don't, like, Pinky doesn't necessarily like him in this book, but I think he grows on her. But I loved this book. If you guys have not read Sandy Manon's books yet, I highly recommend them. They are the perfect books, I think, right now to just escape a little bit from everything going on, and it's just such, they're so good. They are so good. I think she's definitely become one of my new favorite contemporary authors, and I need to get my hands on Of Curses and Kisses, because it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I need it. Anyways, loved this book. So I finished The Diviners last night, and I don't know how to talk about this book, so I don't quite know how I felt about it. This isn't, like I said, officially a part of my TBR. I might count it towards a challenge, but I was already quite a bit into it before this readathon, so I don't think I'm going to count it. But I just, oof, this book. I enjoyed it, obviously because I listened to the entire thing, and it was quite a lengthy audiobook, but I wouldn't say I loved it. I don't know. I think it was just really, really long, and I feel like, I don't know, I liked the characters, I liked the story, I liked the whole mystery and the murder and all of that, and I did enjoy Naughty John, who is kind of the, like, antagonist in the story, but I didn't like the ending. The ending felt like it dragged on for far too long, and I just started to not care anymore. Like, I was just listening to it to finish it at that point, which is weird because I was getting, like, really invested near the end, and then all of a sudden, like, this thing happened, and then it just kind of dragged after that for, like, way longer than I thought it was going to. Like, I kept looking at my phone because I was, like, listening to it before bed, and I kept looking at my phone to see how much time was left, and there was just way more time left than I thought there was supposed to be because it just kept dragging forever. I am going to continue on to at least the next book. I have it on hold on Overdrive. I should be getting it in about 12 weeks, which is kind of annoying. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. Let me know how you guys feel about this book down below, because I know it's like a lot of people's favorite book. And I don't know. It's not mine. But I did enjoy my time listening to it. Not my favorite. And now, to the book that I was ranting about last night. Just one day. I did read a bit more. I'm now on page 153. So I read one chapter. I'm still kind of annoyed with the whole misleading, making it seem like this whole book takes place over one day, and then you very kind of quickly realize that it's not gonna do that, and then it doesn't do that, and then you're just kind of like, well, what the hell is the point now? Because I didn't get this one day whirlwind romance. But the plan is to try to finish this today, maybe get as much of it done as I can, because Peyton and I are co-hosting a 24-hour readathon starting at midnight tonight to the end of Saturday. So we're doing a 24-hour readathon tomorrow, and I don't quite know what I want to read for that. I don't know, I'm gonna figure it out. Hey guys, so it is now about 10:40 p.m. I have done a bit more reading in just one day. I am on page 206 now. I am about halfway through the book. I'm still not really enjoying it. I'm still hung up on the fact that this book does not take place over one day when everything seems to lead towards that assumption, but it's just it doesn't take place in one day. And I'm just finding it hard to care about the characters and her heartbreak. I think I'm going to try to finish it, but the 24-hour readathon that Peyton and I are doing start in about an hour and 20 minutes. And my plan was to read Just One Year, which is the sequel, but it's not really a sequel because it's literally just this in a different point of view. And honestly, if I'm having a hard time reading this, I don't know if I want to read this. But then there's also the novella, which is called Just One Night, which I might read because it takes place after these events. I might just skip Just One Year and read this if I care enough after Just One Day. There goes my plans for 24-hour readathon. I'm either going to continue reading until midnight and then just read past midnight as well, and just see how much I can get done of this. We'll see what happens. I don't know what I'm going to do, but the plan is to finish this during the readathon. Hey guys, so it's actually April 1st now. I completely failed at ending out this vlog the last couple of days and filming this last wrap-up clip. I just wasn't really reading after reading Just One Day, and I just didn't feel like updating, and then the readathon was over, and so I just keep forgetting to update and wrap this vlog up. But that's what I am here to do, to let you know what I read all in all and what challenges they completed. Okay, so the first book that I read was Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins. This is my Juniper Books edition because this is the edition that I read and annotated. So this completed the challenge of read a book with a strong female character. So obviously Katniss is a strong female character, and I really enjoyed rereading this book. I haven't reread this in literal years. I loved every second of it, so definitely glad that I read this one. Then I believe I read Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie. I think I put it for fairy tale or retelling, and I did not really enjoy this one, and I don't really want to talk about it more because I'm about to end that vlog and I don't want to talk about it. And then I think this is definitely my favorite of the readathon besides Catching Fire, because that was a reread. I already knew I would love it, and that is There's Something About Sweetie by Sandia Menon. I keep saying Menon, and then I watched her do a couple live streams and I realized it's Menon, so Sandia Menon, gotta get used to saying that. It's like Sarah J. Maas and Mass all over again. And this one for yellow on the cover because it's got yellow font and yellow paint on our main character Sweetie, but also romance or friendship. So read a book featuring, or read a romance or read a book featuring friendship, and this one features both of those things. So I loved this book. Like I said, it's definitely my favorite one that I read during the week. And then of course I read Just One Day by Gail Forman, which was another flop of the readathon. Did not enjoy this one, but this was for the read a book featuring a vacation or travel in it, because obviously it takes place in Paris for parts of the book. This book was a complete and utter letdown. I feel like it was completely misleading in the description and in the title, and it's just not what I was wanting out of the book, not what I was expecting. I wanted a really cute one day fall in love romance, and that is definitely not what I got, and I'm definitely unhauling this series, and you will see that in a video soon. Just One Day actually was also for the challenge of read a book that's collecting dust on your shelves, because I've had this for I don't even know how long, at least 3 years, but I'm pretty sure it's probably closer to 4 or 5 years. And this next book was not actually a part of any of the challenges. I listened to the audiobook of The Diviners, so this one I was already in the middle of reading. I don't know how far I was into it when I started the readathon, but I thought I would just mention it because I did read it during the week. And something else I actually read during the week, I read it on Sunday in like one go, and that was I listened to Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And basically just like lied down in my bed and played games on my phone and just listened to it pretty much in one go, except the pause to eat dinner. And again, that's not for any challenges or anything, it's just I was reading it. So that is everything that I read. So all in all, how many books did I read? I read 6 books in 1 week. So proud of myself. So that is everything that I read for the Spring Into Reading-a-thon. We had some really high highs and some quite low lows and things that were in the middle. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy. Let me know down below if you guys participated in the readathon. I think it was a bit of a more low-key unknown readathon, but let me know if you did participate and what you read in it. Subscribe if you have not yet already, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!